morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We finally got the missing piece to the puzzle back. The missing piece is finally here. Gifted is back from his vacation in Canada. We cannot wait. We're going to start the episode, and he's going to tell us a lot of stories here. Yeah, do it. Yeah, touch. There it is. DP will never take part, but we were touching tips a little bit there. Appreciate the NFT Live audience that's hopping in here early. You guys are popping off. You know we started late when Christian Jensen is telling us to get going. So we had to start the episode here. Christian, give me the loot, gang. Michael P, OVOT, and good morning. Justin Casey, yes, RIP OJ. Well, we might touch on it. We'll see.
I just had some on the plane. I just had some on the plane yesterday.
There you go.
Never see these
That's
things
what we'll
coming.
hit. Oh my goodness. Justin Casey also saying GM quantum variant feeling very great this week. I'm sure the Eigen Layer airdrop I believe is happening soon. The launch has happened. We covered that 48 hours ago. But we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive here today, as well as some other narratives popping up and kind of just continuing on here in the industry as we sit here on Thursday, April 11th. So happy to have everybody. Let's go around the circle. Biggie, Poppins, DP, Gifted. Let's do it. That's you, Biggie. Oh, and you're muted.
There's a professional up here.
He got it.
Of course. GM, happy to be here, man. I'm eager to get into the combos today. Lots to talk about.
Eager to get into Eigen.
Eager to get into Eigen. Yes, eager Eigen man here. Cheers, Quant.
Yeah, Quantum, if you want to hop in, I could send you a DM. Let me know, and I'll send that DM over.
He's got the whole video mic setup now. He looks like a G. We got to get him on more.
Yeah.
Got to take advantage of this technology.
Beyond when he's hopped on NFT Live, you've seen him in this setup before? Other than the time he came on NFT Live?
No, just that time. We need to use it more.
That was like 4 months ago.
He got his setup, and we're not taking advantage
he
of
will
it.
be known as Quantum E variant.
Wow.
The E stands for Eigen.
Wow.
At least he was kind enough to set up a nice mic and video situation before coming on the show, unlike some people that just stare at their mic over in a corner for months on end.
My favorite was the R Fox interview. Y'all won't even remember this one, but if you do, you're a fucking G. The R Fox interview where the founder, this was on Wax, by the way, so this is our Wax coverage for the week. R Fox founder walked around the office into various strengths of signal of the Wi-Fi for the entirety of the show. It's just like, dude, sit down in one place. Why are you walking around on the mobile phone as you cut in and out? So yes, some throwback stuff on NFT Live there back in the 21 days, I believe. DP, welcome. GM, what's up?
Hey man, good. Glad to be here. What's up, family? Man, I'm just partaking in a little bit of shit cornery, a little bit of ordinal, a little bit of ordinal activities, a little bit of strangely enough, I haven't touched any real projects with utility in a minute. I need to start DCing my way into my more of my conviction plays.
When's the last time you bought an NFT,
DP? Today.
Oh, okay. All right, you still got it.
There's a token behind it, I bet.
Yeah, well, I bought some ordinal stuff. What did I get? I bought some shit. Hold on, I gotta tell you. Man, listen, I've been moving and grooving, bro. I don't even remember what I'm buying.
See, that's how you know you're doing it right.
So D and I have stopped talking a lot. Like usually, him and I are like, going back and forth with like AI, like L1s, like these really cool
high level combos.
Yeah, and for the longest, I haven't gotten shit. All I see is on Discord like these like Obama ones and stuff like that. So you guys have like turned him. I don't know what you gave him.
It's still me. I'm still him now when it comes to that. I just haven't. But you know what it is, man? Is really it hasn't been. It's been a lot of stuff being released, but I think for the most part, a lot of the projects that we've already discussed are probably the safer plays. Like I feel like, especially when it comes to AI, I'm seeing so many different AI things. You just don't know at this point, like what's good and what's not.
All right, we have a lot of updates that I want to get to here early in the show. Trevor BTC also posting some stuff on the runes front. That's a narrative we'll cover. But we do have Gifted back here. We're going to spend the next 25 minutes in Toronto here. Take us day by day, hour by hour into your trip, sir. You have the floor.
What? No. Look, you can tell DP. You can tell DP's in the zone because he didn't even register that my AV stab was directed at him. He just totally ignored it, and that's fine. And I also have to bring up the fact that like DP and I have a bet going right now. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but we have a bet, a gentleman's bet. It's actually more than a gentleman's bet because one of us is going to have to on air live consume a full jalapeno pepper for whoever's wrong. And I bet that Bitcoin would hit another ATH before the halving. He bet it wouldn't. And I think that it wants to right now, but I don't know what kind of backdoor dealings are happening between Gary Gensler and DP over here, but they are trying to actively stop the momentum, create the FUD. This is coordinated FUD, an attack on Bitcoin, an attack on crypto, an attack on you, and definitely an attack on my taste buds and my stomach, because they are actively trying to stop Bitcoin from hitting another all-time high together. It's collusion. I see it happening, and it's not okay.
There's so many things I love about this bet. But I will. Can we upgrade it? Can we modify it? Is it a 404?
Wait a minute. Hold on. It depends. It depends on what you're trying to modify it with, Biggie.
Instead of jalapenos, how about mushrooms? And then you can do it live. Let's see what happens.
I don't really want to be tripping out on camera though.
Yeah, that's what I told Biggie. He wants to do this big. He wants to do this big 420 episode. I'm like, damn. All right, we have a lot of topics to get to.
The bong upon you, sir.
We have a lot of topics to get to. One of the main topics we are going to touch on today is going to be Eigen Layer, and we're glad to be joined by Quantum Variant in the house. Look at that cam. That's a DSLR? That's got to be.
Yeah. It's
I feel
a DSLR. Am I muted?
QV.
No, you're good.
Oh, there you go.
GM,
how's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Great until I saw you. Man, you got a nice setup over there, Quant. You know, the glasses, and you got like the accent on the earphones, man. I expected nothing less from you.
You got a little red, the lighting. Red.
Yeah. He's got everything, right? He's got a little bit of backlight, three-point lighting system. It looks nice.
My man understands color theory, like he's some kind of artist. It's weird.
It's only for clients, because when I do this with clients, they're all like, using their FaceTime, and I got to show up proper. So there you go.
We're your favorite client though. So
I missed it all last week with being in NFT NYC. So it's good to be back in the fold, and kind of missed you, Giff. Like morning shows is like a routine, and it's like coffee. Without coffee, how do we live? So
yeah.
I'm glad to have you back.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and in this case, I concur, man. I miss this guy. Like once he got back on the spaces, I was like, "Oh, dude, that's what it was."
Yeah.
Like there was an ingredient missing there, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Appreciate
way
it.
too much man love on this stage.
Yeah, no Diddy, y'all.
I don't know where I take this. I'm sharing out the show. If you guys can do so as well, if you want to like over here on YouTube, I see you guys rolling in. We just pressed live. We are going to talk Eigen Layer, and Quantum Variant has been shouting from the mountaintops about Eigen Layer for a while here. So it's good to have him in the show. When we get into Eigen, it's going to be nice to have the context that he provides there. Are you shitcoining at all, QV? What are you doing these days besides getting into more substantial projects like Eigen?
I took a number of losses on shitcoins because I thought, the new pair, going up like crazy, and then checking it the next morning and it's completely zero. I have my Pac Moon, I have my DGen, I have, a couple of those tokens that I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm not playing heavy. It's hard if you're not on all the time. So, it's a game for a different player. And
I love those picks. You just mentioned two of my favorite, sure bets almost, if you will, right? Like in the world of supposed shit coins with or without utility, whatever you may have, right? Like there's some that just stand above the rest, right? Like, or that establish themselves real quick in like the conversation. Obviously, DGen is a little more established now, even though it's been like what 2 months. But all the things that have happened, right? And Pac-Moon is almost there, right? But I think it's also like a pretty, you can see it and you see the people that are playing it and talking about it and tweeting about it. You're like, I can go to sleep with this one. I feel you with that. I like my shitcoins to be sleep resistant. I like to wake up and not completely lost my ass on it. So yeah, man, those are good plays.
That's I think you can play the utility. Like that's the thing. It's where I kind of come from, and so the real shit coins that are just memes, like they're not my game. It's hard to play them, and you always feel late, and then it pumps, and then you feel even later, and then it pumps again, and you're like, oh, I can't play this. So like even ZK Finance, like it's doing fine. Like you sit on it, and I think those ones you can sit on for at least a few months and see where they play out. I'm not putting a lot in though.
Yeah, I actually followed you into that play.
If you're early, you don't have to. Like, yeah, it's easier to sit on it. Sorry, keep cutting you off.
I actually followed you into that play, Quantum Variant. That one has done pretty well. I mean, it's up 2 or 3x, but also the ZK airdrop might have something to play into that ZK Finance. I've been meaning to message you about that one as well. Is there any update that you have? Like, how often do you check in on what ZK Finance is doing? Oh, did he lose us?
No.
Yeah, it looks like he might have lost audio. Gifted, hit us with the disclaimer while we wait for QV.
Yes, disclaimer for all, for everyone. This is a fully inclusive disclaimer. Even if you feel like you're a lone wolf out there on your own, like you're a Walker Texas Ranger, Chuck Norris of your own destiny, and you don't need nobody, this is still for you. That is our saying here, that this is not financial advice. Wait, no, the saying is thou shalt not speckle, which translates to, very loosely, this is not financial advice. Because for your safety and ours, we must remind everybody that, because it's a wild, wild west full of dangerous things. And all of this is just cool shit on the internet, not to be misconstrued for us telling you what to do with your money. And even if you take it that way, it's still your fault. Just remember that. It's not on us.
All right, I'm trying to get Quantum back in here. It looks like he's having some audio issues. That's always how it works, by the way. Like, the guy that looks the best always has the most technical difficulties, like with all the cameras and everything, like all of the wires that need to be going into different inputs and outputs. It's always
he had it though. Something it must be internet connection or something, because he had it. And he was switched.
I think it switched. He might have gotten a call or something else, and maybe it's like either on his directly on his computer.
Should we just sit here and talk about him while he can't hear us?
We should.
I mean, he fucking looks great.
Does he hear us now?
Oh, he can hear us.
We can't. Oh, really?
Yes, now I can. Yeah, something happened. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so now we're dealing with a little bit of lag, Quantum. Okay. So I could see these issues kind of being similar, but I was asking you about the ZK Finance, and have you just followed up on anything from that? Do you keep up with ZK Finance and what's happening over there? Oh man, we lost the audio.
Damn.
It was the only play that I did. And it was fine, I got my name on ZK, and I just kind of let it slide, because it's not a very big network, and the same with DGen network, right? The L3, like I got my name and I did a few things on there. But I think it's just one of those plays you put in and let it ride for a while.
Set it and forget it. Yeah. Love it. Love that take. All right. Sorry about the lag there, Quantum. All right, guys, I'm sharing out the show. I did just repost the original over here. I'm going to drop that in the private chat as well as the community. If you guys want to help support us, that's the best way to do so. A couple other really quick updates up front that we can get to. This one coming from Magic Eden. So we mentioned the diamond claim here about a month ago, maybe a couple weeks. This OG claim is ending today. So if you have not done the diamond claim yet and you want to try out any of your old Ethereum wallets, or what have you. This is the last day to do so. So make sure you hit that. A couple other things that I want to get to right away. We covered the Uniswap versus SEC piece. Tyler saying here that, Uniswap obviously was affected. Now, this was yesterday. I need to check in on where it sits today, but we didn't get a chance to cover this with Gifted and Quantum here. But the Uniswap news, the SEC charging Uniswap. I need to get the official charge. I'm assuming it's like the standard money laundering, like operating a, unregistered exchange, all of this stuff. I need to get the official charge for you guys while we're live here. But yeah, give me your takes. Quantum, if you're still kind of with us, I would love to hear as well. But Gif, go ahead. Uniswap versus SEC.
I haven't looked far enough into it because, again, I was traveling all day yesterday. I just saw the headline. But obviously, this is the kind of FUD that slows down momentum, and that's a big part of their strategy. My whole take on what the SEC is up to is they're trying their best to stop momentum and slow down crypto adoption with moves like this, because the big banks and the institutions that have been in control of our money are losing that control. And so they are trying to figure out as quickly as possible how to maintain as much control as they possibly can. So that's to me, it's like the big picture here is that all of these actions are meant to stymie and slow down momentum, because as money leaves the existing system and goes into crypto, it's like, they are losing more control. That money, a lot of that money that goes into crypto is exiting the existing systems that are controlled by the big banks, by the governments, et cetera, right? So I don't know exactly how this ends up or like the ins and outs of it. Again, I haven't gone that far into it. I just see it as more of the same of them doing everything that they can in their power to slow down the momentum and more money moving out of the traditional financial system that they control into crypto where they have less control. So I guess the worst case scenario is that this indicates that they're going to start to attack the DEXs and the on-ramps and off-ramps, which will absolutely have a negative impact on the space, especially in the US. It can't stop crypto, right? Because again, like more stuff will just move overseas. You just start to get more crypto tourism, more businesses, etc., more people getting VPN. It's like, you can't stop the technology, but it can absolutely slow it down and make it much more difficult for people to operate in the US, which again is terrible for the US. I wish more people understood that what they're doing is they are actively pushing innovation, business, and the future of finance to other countries. I wish more people understood that. I think very few people in Congress and in the upper echelons of power understand how negative this can be for the United States. You get the brain drain, you get money moving overseas, you get business and innovation all saying fuck this, we're out of here. The US is bullshit. It's actually very damaging, I think, to the US.
I think the longer this goes on, the more I think they understand it. They just don't have a position in it, so they don't care. Like
they don't stand to gain from it.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't position. Well, they don't care,
because long term, what GIF is saying is way more detrimental.
Yes, because to your point, I think about them not having a stake. The unfortunate and really fucking frustrating and annoying thing about the current situation of our government is that everybody is like, okay, boomers currently control fucking everything. They have set up these systems so that they get their returns over the next 2 decades, and beyond that, none of them give a shit. So Social Security, the way that the systems are set up, all the stocks, printing out inflation, you have to understand all of this shit is to prop up the existing system that all the boomers are invested in. And beyond that, they do not give a fuck. So you're right. They don't have a stake beyond 20 years because all of them are going to be dead. They don't give a shit. All they care about is that they get what they think that they're owed, that this system pays them out continuously, and whatever their investments pay off over the next 10 to 20 years. And beyond that, they really don't give a fuck. It's kind of like, all right, you're on on your own. We robbed. We're the robber barons of the modern, 20th, 21st century. We stole all the fucking wealth so that we could retire happy, healthy, and comfortable. And then good luck.
Quantum, jump in here.
It's hard to save us from
Quantum.
this. I think the take I have on the SEC going after Uniswap, I mean, it makes sense to go after Uniswap, right? I just think they're going to have very little legs to stand on because it is a platform. It is, a series of smart contracts, and in the end, but it's hilarious that did SEC ever go after FTX? No. Like they went after them. Yeah. They Binance and FTX, Binance maybe, they have gone after and they're not necessarily US based, but they went after Coinbase, and all these, and Kraken and all these other, companies that have been legit, have been sound, been stable areas in this. And, you don't go after one of the biggest frauds in history. And now you're going to go after Uniswap, who's just providing a service that's all online. I don't think they maybe they win this case, and Uniswap just, there's plenty of branches and forks of Uniswap that people can use. And so it's, again, like Gift said, you can't stop it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's foolish. You're trying to crush the world of ants, and there's billions of us. So,
Quant, the more I think about this, every time I end up in these conversations, anytime I look at crypto, right, and we see these people, projects sometimes drop a meme token or dilute their holders with another collection, whatever, all of this in the end, to me, boils down to one key blockade that was established way back during the first real crash here in the States, and that's deal flow. Access to quality deal flow. You don't have it. If you're not an accredited investor, you are completely incapable of investing or participating. You can participate in the stock market, which they can, they're happy for you to do so. They can dump there anytime they want. It's already gamed. You're late to the party. Nobody gives a fuck. But early deal flow, promising companies, that you cannot access unless you have those qualifications, right? And I really feel like when people look around, that's what they want. That's what you're seeing with shitcoin. That's what you're seeing with crypto in general. It's this is the first time that they can't stop you from participating in these types of products, right? And even still, they make it very difficult. If you do want to participate in an early protocol back in 2018, you better had ways. You better had a company or an offshore structure, have either you're accredited or do it through a special purpose vehicle. It's not easy. They do not make it easy for other people, and and for the longest time, it's really just one class that has benefited from that, right? And I think that's really what it's all about. It's about
not even legal.
That and maintaining that part of the pie to themselves, right? Because it's where all the gains are made. It's where all the Googles and Facebooks are birthed. By the time you get to invest in them on the public market, your gains
that was really the original promise of ICOs, was that instead of doing an IPO where you got access to it whenever they could dump it with everybody, it was very much like this meme coin meta, or the pre-sale meta, I should say. That was very parallel to ICOs.
And there's people that have tried to rectify this, right? Like Obama, to his credit, tried to do this with the Jobs Act, right? And you saw regulation crowdfunding. The problem is that to this day, you still haven't had a real outlier win from the crowdfund space. And the reason why is because it's looked upon as the bastardized plays to raise. If you're raising regulation, crowdfunding, C or D or A, whatever it is, it's because everybody else said no to you. That's your last resource, right? And then they come out with these stupid fucking tokenomics, right? SAFT agreements, what is it? Secure agreement for future equity, and they get to decide at what point does your money convert, right? And at what price? They completely rob you. It's just set up that way.
SPACs were kind of developed to do the same thing. And they were a big thing during COVID era, right? Everybody had a SPAC, Chamath had a SPAC, and all these big wigs.
Chamath had a bunch of them.
Yeah,
was one of the biggest,
right?
And everybody can invest in. I mean, isn't Trump's Truth Social is a SPAC, and but they're playing the market. We can't even get in on those SPACs, not until they come public. And again, it's already, all the gains are gone.
They're just ready to dump on you. Yeah. It's like buy my shit. I really do think the more I think about it, it's like that's it. That's really it. Like that's the TLDR Eli 5 few sentences. It's like you don't, like George Carlin used to say, it's a small club and you ain't in it. Period. That's what they want to. That's what they want to prevent. But yeah, long term, what's happening is what GIF is saying. It's like there are ways. Like it's no longer the same world that used to operate before, right? Like there is certain liberties thanks to the internet, access to information where you can, like, if you really want to do this, there are ways you can set up an offshore structure, use SPVs, you can move. There are many things that people can take, and like when you back them into a corner for so long and just completely taking the oxygen out of the room, people will get creative. And I think that's where we are with crypto right now, with AI. And it's a big fuck no. There's no way. Like to me, the problem here is that the other side is already lost. It's just a matter of time, for them to lose that power. But the problem is like, there's no negotiating on our end either, right? Like nobody wants to, like, they don't want to negotiate, and kind of neither do we. If it's like one of the best phrases that I heard recently was I believe it was like Kyle Salmani from Multicoin Capital, but he was saying like, my biggest nightmare. Yeah, I know. He's not super likable, but he's not dumb either. And one of the things he says, like, my biggest nightmare is that we recreate traditional finance on Web3 rails. So it's the same thing, except on Web3 rails. You don't want that, and
that's what they would.
It's already happening, though. It's already happening. That's what I was about to say. Like deal flow. I mean, okay, I get it. Yeah, we do want access to deal flow, but let's say even if every citizen had the liberty to go and invest in different deals, they'll just find another way to gatekeep it. Because truth be told, let's keep it real. People that have resources and access to wealth, they like the exclusivity that it grants them, right? This is the same thing that we see right now, even with something as trivial as meme coins. The shit is being run by these cabals. You know what I mean? People are getting these calls,
true.
20 minutes earlier than everybody else. They're dumping on people, and you do have some outliers that are making gains, making money.
Well, you don't have
at
the same time,
the access to information is still sparse, right? And so it's the same thing. Even with let's say if the wealth disparity is so great that even if you do make it an even playing field for people to invest in different deals, the people that are presenting the deals or the companies that are looking for funding are still going to go to the top of the top to get the funding, because not only do they have the funding, they can actually be value add investors where they have the funding, they have the connections, they have the locations, they have the buildings, they have the infrastructure, they have everything else that you need.
It's very true, D. Yes, I do think especially value add investors, VC investors like A16Z that are really trying to move this space forward, 100%. Like we need them, and they're welcome, right? But at the same time, you are always going to have bad actors. If we're going to really be a transparent, open, decentralized infrastructure system, you will have that always. But I do think it's fair to also mention that we have seen fair launches before. There are plenty of fair launches out there that you can point to and say, this is democratic. That's
where this meme coin meta, right? That's where this meme coin meta has done some interesting things. Like we have not talked about a lot of like diving in past the surface level, like how much X can I gain from this? But there are a lot of similarities to ICOs, and there was kind of infighting between crypto folks because essentially the pre-sale meta and the meme coin meta was VCs aren't really getting the front run on this because they launch overnight, they launch in a week. VCs aren't setting up the pre-seed, the rounds, all of these things, and that's even within crypto. It was more so the Wall Street Bets moment for crypto.
And also, because can you hear me? Am I lagging?
Yeah, you're lagging.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit.
Am I good now? Kind of.
Yeah, you good.
Like I do think. Fuck, I kind of lost my train of thought there a little bit, but Inverse is bringing up something very important here too, right? Like you do see people like Kobe trying to do like a decentralized angel list platform where you can give access to people to invest in these like deal flow. It remains to be seen how it plays out there, Inverse. Like I do know that they are asking for KYC, which is I don't know. I'm not too troubled by that. It's just granting access, like that's the key importance. I think what I was gonna say, going back to the fair launch thing that we were talking about, Q, is that because of crypto, it also enables you to distribute your assets more thoughtfully, right? Like you can pick and choose. You can look at people's wallets and be like, this dude's a dumper, but this other person is the type of holder that I'd like, and I'm gonna reward him with access or whitelist him or snapshot him into whatever. Like there's different things that people are playing around with this on like how you are able to do fair launches. Not all of them succeed perfectly, but like the possibility is there. We've seen it done. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm bullish. And when you see people like Kobe, I think he's reached that same conclusion, right? It's like, hey, if you can do a decentralized AngelList version of a platform that can offer, different investment syndicates. We've seen this already attempted to play out, right? But I do think some of these projects, especially once you start talking like RWAs, like real world assets and stuff, will require some level of disclosure or identity verification in order for you to participate. Again, I think that's fine. I don't feel like you have to be super doxed to be able to do this. But it's the access portion to me that is crucial. That is like non-negotiable. It's like we should have access to that now.
Yeah.
If you buy fucking lotto tickets, then I should be able to invest in whatever fucking early stage company I think has potential, and you should not have to say anything about it.
Yeah.
Period.
That's increasing freedom, equity, inclusivity in the financial system is absolutely what it's about. And it's so ironic and obnoxious, frankly, that the SEC is supposed to be, protecting consumers, but truly what it's doing is protecting the status quo and control of the big banks. More people should be talking about that. More of our Congress people that are supposed to be representing us should be concerned about the fact that the SEC is doing the bidding of big institutions and big banks and not what's better for consumers and retail users. That's what I thought these agencies are supposed to do. But at the end of the day, like what real equity and equality is, sometimes it's bastardized into, some people try and force it to mean equality of outcome, and that's not what it is. It's equality of opportunity. And so what crypto can do is it gives more opportunities, more freedom, more access, like Biggie's saying, and that truly is a new paradigm. That's why it revolutionizes the financial system. And yeah, back to what everybody's saying, right? It does actually open up, more opportunities to create real wealth to more people.
And Inverse is bringing up again the cabals in CT and how they get priority access to all of these deals and they get sucked up real quick. And I agree, like it's really difficult to expect to be able to, one, as a sole person and a lonely person, like to offer the value add, right? That some of these investment houses have built up over decades.
That is
right?
an ugly truth for sure.
Everything, But
you also have the opportunity to create
it, right? Like from some of these
Biggie, we got to move. Biggie, we got to move on. Give last thoughts.
Well, I was just saying, like, even to that point, it's like it's so difficult to get into that club, the cabals on Wall Street or wherever. You can actually go create your own cabal now too. It's like you can also participate in that in new ways.
All right, I'm going to reset the room really quick. We are on NFT Live. We're going to spend another 30 minutes here. We're going to hit some of these narratives that are popping up here and really that we've been following for a while. Eigen Layer being the number one that hopefully we can touch on and spend some time. But I'm going to reset the room fully. We're Trailer Maxis here. Azuki Episode 1 releasing April 30th. So their anime has been teased for a while. It looks like we might have a trailer. Let's watch it.
That's pretty sexy.
Looks good. The waiting game is very crypto, isn't it? How long have people been waiting for that?
I hope that people care about this. I hope this is the example. Like, you have a full blown anime potentially here. We're gonna see what episode 1 looks like. But does the market care?
And where are they streaming it? And what do the holders get?
I love the whole,
Quantum, your audio cut out. Sorry, go ahead, Biggie. Your audio cut out, Quantum.
I just said, like, that narrative that we have in crypto of like red pilling somebody, like roofing somebody into, awareness is kind of hysterical to me.
I mean, the quality looks good. It didn't blow me away. Like, I wasn't like, holy shit, this looks so cool. It was kind of slow.
I thought it was pretty cinematic, man.
Like, the quality looks cinematic. I'm giving it that. I do think it's cool, that they're introducing like the beans, so you see that they're going to be in there somehow. So that's cool. And it's always great to see high quality content being developed around crypto native IP. So, I mean, that makes me excited, even though Azuki's not my favorite, project, but yeah, I don't know. It felt kind of slow, so it'll be interesting to see like how much action, how long it is. Is it a 5-minute episode? Is it a 28-minute? I doubt it's a full 28-minute episode. They're probably trying to do like shorts first. Try and set a standard for quality, get some excitement, and then maybe build it out from there. It's kind of like a pilot.
All right, Quantum, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back.
Back. Yeah. Dive in, because we really caught the first sentence of this. Also, you did have one question about like how community can be rewarded. It looks like there's some reference to that. Expressions of the IP, while the community is rewarded for owning and participating in co-creating the IP. No, obviously no details, but there's something alluding to that there.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if streaming rights or any type of kickback to the community, or who's being used. Credits, there's a lot of ways to play this. Huge anime community in the US and obviously in Asia, but huge in the US. So, we'll see how this plays. This could play really well. I just don't know if they'll play well here. Like, does the NFT community even care? Because it seems like utility sometimes bumps the needle and then drops it again.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the short, it's very difficult to that point, like to have any real impact around utility in the short to midterm. But to me, this is kind of like if you look at Pudgy Penguins, right? There was a solid 6 months to a year of them sort of building out the infrastructure of like how they're going to grow the brand, create products that, get out there to the broader market and start to establish this as more than just an NFT project. And it takes a while for that to really take root, for enough people to understand what it is, enough people, get the churn in the market to sort of like reestablish a floor price and then start to like pick it up from there. And then they have to keep momentum. But I do think that this to me sets them up maybe for the mid to long term of continuing to grow, right? This shows that it can show, at least if it goes well, that the brand, the IP itself has legs and can develop into something more than just a collectible.
It has to, any type of anime, any type of entertainment still has to be good, right? Yeah. And if it's good, then all of a sudden it can catch fire everywhere, right? And then the NFT space, but it can the NFT space, like they did with the Pudgy Penguins on, units sold, right? Can we influence that market? I'm not sure if the Azuki market is big enough to influence, the anime space, but it's still, if it's a good story, and then it breaks into Web 2 in a bigger way. And I think then that's a huge success.
Sarah's adding some things in here. Nice to see Sarah Script in the house, GM and OVOT. She's also saying Pudgy hired 8 people to make GIFs full time, and they took over Giphy, which probably has something to do, again, with their notoriety and exposure, obviously. All right, I did show off as well the blur side, or I guess just like the price charts here. Beans unaffected. I mean, there's a little bit of movement, I guess, from 0.21 to 0.228 here. That's basically nothing. And then Azuki, pretty much the same thing, right? This is the monthly chart, and it's flat. Like flat. There hasn't been any type of movement here based on this trailer announcement. So maybe it was. Go ahead.
They should release a meme coin. Shit fly.
Fair launch to their.
Yeah.
Are we ever gonna make it out of this meta? Because like part of my thought process is like eventually the pendulum swings back to product. Are we ever gonna make it back to where something like this actually moves the market?
I'd love to hear Quant's take on that since you just came out of NFT NYC. How do you feel? Are NFTs dead, Quant?
I mean, the talk, I was in a lot of art, related events. So there's still, movement in the art events. It just doesn't get the attention, on the timeline. But yeah, I do think we get out of this meta. I do think, it just moves, we just don't know when one ends and one begins, right? It's very hazy in between these. I think moments will, things will fluctuate out of meme coins into, I don't know if it'll be NFTs yet. We'll still have to see if the crypto market actually, even though we're pretty strong, I don't think we're even on the upward trajectory this bull market has, is going to happen, right? I think 100K, Bitcoin by the end of the year, we're not even close to there yet. Like we still have a lot to lean into there. And I think if crypto runs, I don't think it's going to go to NFTs first, and NFTs will be a kind of a side bet off of that. There'll be some that run, but maybe a project like this can do it. We just need a little bit of hype, and then all of a sudden the narrative changes and everybody jumps on the new bandwagon.
All right, Katz is getting to something that I want to pull up kind of on the very direct front, but also Inverse saying, if the brand IP gets revenue streams, how much would you want to give to your holders? They already have so many collections and holders. Inverse also saying, I think it kind of comes down to how they will use the established IP from the anime, establish a revenue stream, etc. Isn't there an anime coin and anime chain tied towards Azuki in some way? That is one thing we did not bring into this conversation that is probably pertinent with the release of this. His point on the supply is interesting because like all of these OG projects have the supplies that really mirror last meta, right? The 10,000 or 5,000, the extra, like that doesn't really work anymore right now. Like if you could distribute revenue between 1,000 folks, that would be a lot more, useful in pushing marketing. I wonder if you can't add some type of like activity in that. It's like you can't just hold it. You have had to been active, or you have to be active going forward. That cuts down, from 20,000 supply to maybe a group of 2,000. Maybe they can go about it that maybe that's a stopgap. I don't know.
You would have the other 8,000 eventually at your door, up in arms, pitchforks in hand. Like, the fuck? I'm into this. I believed in you. I just, I was hiking Kilimanjaro and I just got back. Whatever.
Yeah. They can play the event space though, right? Which Azuki really hasn't done well, or they've done a few, right? But I think they can play the event space if they have something, they can, get together and have screenings of the show in movie theaters across the world. Like they can do something to bring the community in on it, parties and stuff like that. They don't have to necessarily be money. It can be value, and it could be helping marketing. So like there might be a way to reward that maybe isn't financial, but if they bring value and they bring attention to it as holders, maybe price goes up. Like where's the value? Do you want the price to stay same and get a token, or do you want the price to go up? It's kind of I don't know if either plays. We all want the price to go up of the original assets. I think that's the best move.
PFPs in gaming are like, I see a lot of parallels, of course, across all crypto. But Swerve is saying Yuga all-time revenue without OpenSea royalties equals what? And gaming projects are a lot in kind of the same boat. Right? Like you make a good game first or get the revenue first, and that'll help the holders of the assets or whatever happens in your ecosystem. And it might be as simple as that. It's like we don't have any projects here that are making any money outside of raising funds. And yeah, like Inverse is saying, does this provide any revenue stream back to Azuki? That might be the key factor on whether it works. And
does Azuki have financial backing? Right? Do they have VC money? How much money? Runways matter, for a project, especially projects that are entertainment based, and that don't necessarily create anything yet. And there was a lot of talk about runways during NFT NYC. It's like, all right, how long does this project have runway? All right, they have 3 years of VC money that they can play with. They don't have to produce a profit yet, but they have to grow. And it doesn't make it easy. It just makes it that they have some opportunity to do it now. And maybe this is their opportunity. They got to take their shot.
All right, I'm going to move us into Mintify real quick. If you're on the pre-sale, these are going to sell out. So you see it's not even in public yet.
It's not going to make it to public.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. It's on base, so I'm assuming these are updated numbers. Sometimes on Ethereum, you have a lot of like UI issues with what they're showing. Let me try to refresh and see if I can get back in. 54.9. So 5,500 out of 6,100 have been minted pretty much. It looks like these are going to do extremely well. If you are on the pre-sale, I'll drop it both here in the private chat as well as the community comments there. Yeah, well, might want to check. It probably has something to do with Mintify because it is multi-chain, but I don't know their eligibility requirements for that pre-sale.
I think it's too late to get in on the pre-sale. Like maybe you can snipe some on public, or maybe pick up some on secondary. It's a project I've talked about several times. I'm bullish on. Evan,
did you get in?
I've been in since day one, dude. So
did you mint these? I mean,
I don't have to. They'll be airdropped to me.
Ooh.
Talk about a project that gets it and takes care of their like day one holders. Like I don't have to mint. I don't have to claim. I don't have to do shit. It's just going to be in my wallet. This is a dude that gets it. I think he's, I think he was like day one proofer also. Started there. I started using his product. Just saw him building. Like he knows how to build. I believe he started one of these Engadget tech reviews. I think it was Engadget maybe. Remember those like that, like review all kinds of tech and everything. Like I think he ended up selling it, but like really good builder, solid grasp of tech and shit. And so he's been and really slow and deliberate. Like for the longest, like many other like aggregator or like I don't know what Kelly like charting systems and stuff like that came up, and he just kept building it, and now like the keys are the foundation to his platform, which is really cool. Like you don't have to own them, but they just give you a multiple in experience points, which will later translate to token. But also just like the ecosystem there, like he's got really cool raffles. They've raffled everything from Pudgies to Moonbird to what have you. I think even like an ape at some point. And now it's like every chain that has serious traction, like they just spread their tentacle there, and it's really great data analytics. Like if you're playing around with JPEGs, it's a great platform to use. I again been very bullish on it. DYOR NFA.
All right, community coming through saying, first of all, give me the loot, is saying there's 12K for public mint. Cats Fanatic saying the Mintify base keys are airdropped to ETH Genesis key holders, and the base keys won't be tradable until sellout and airdrop is done.
There you go.
Makes sense.
All right, another airdrop that we have been tracking here is what's happening over there on the runes side of things. It looks like Node Monkeys coming through with rune nodes. So each going now, and I just recently checked the price, 0.039 is still what they're going for. So 2,700 for just holding Node Monkeys, and these nodes, these rune nodes, doing extremely well. Also Node token, I don't remember the airdrop requirements there and how much were dropped to each, but jumped another 100% on the day. What blockchain is the Node token on? Is that one of these? Is this a BRC20 or?
I'm not sure if it's a BRC20 or I mean, I imagine, right? Because runes go mainnet on 420. I was under that assumption. Yeah, BRC20, the BRC20 node. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right, so they jumped today. Look, we covered runes yesterday. We'll continue to monitor that, but I definitely want to get to Eigen before we close out the episode. We've got about 15 minutes left, so. Both Biggie Poppins, Quantum, GIF, and DP, if you guys are involved in Eigen, please, lead this discussion
you didn't
here.
see me talking about restaking my Eigen in our Discord.
Yep.
I saw it.
Strategizing.
I tried to go get in, and it's been closed every time that I checked it. So
to stake.
Yeah, restake. Yeah, restaking, whatever.
There's ways to do it without going directly through the Eigen interface. Like there's ways to buy the LSTs, the liquid staking tokens. But right now it's all about the restaking and the Eigen DA, the data availability layer. And I don't know, like there's just like I've been listening to a lot of people's talks on, all right, well, who's going to use this, right? It's a huge network. It's a huge amount of security. What is it, like $20-30 billion locked up in Eigen? And now you get to deploy it right now as holders of Eigen Layer, right? As stakers in Eigen, we get to then delegate that stake to other platforms. And I think the question right now, at least the way I've been playing, is like, all right, which platforms are doing what? And why are they doing it? And like, it's to me, it's a pure utility play. There's going to be plenty of meme and there's going to be plenty of shit coins as well. You could see them stacking up in the test net. If you go to the test net, you could see who's trying to. But I think the serious numbers are going to go into DeFi and they're going to go into utility tokens and layer 2s, right? Mm-hmm. Because Eigen DA, right? The data availability, right? We just had the Dan Kuhn update 3 weeks ago, right? So made blobs super cheap. Well, Eigen is part of the Ethereum network, and Eigen DA is another data availability layer. And if Optimism or Base starts using Eigen for their data, well, they have to then pay the Eigen layer, and then all those rewards go back, right? Money is made through every transaction, right? There's a slight middleman. And that means those money will all go back to whoever was delegating to Eigen DA. So I think there's a lot of opportunities here for really conservative opportunities that might get you, stack 4% on 4% on 5%. And, all of a sudden, it looks like maybe looks like a paycheck, a month, you never know.
And to translate it into simple layman's terms, it's sleep soundly at night money, right? Yeah. Like the stuff that you can go to bed to, and barring any black swan, crazy exploit or whatever, the fluctuations shouldn't be as horrible. You shouldn't be waking up puking, because you went to sleep and put your shit on Bomber or whatever.
The one thing is though that slashing is not been turned on for the next few months, right? Because they want the network to figure things out, right? Yeah. And so there is no slashing events, right? So it definitely puts a little.
Oh, we lost you again. It might have something to do with that switch then.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that switch.
Yeah, I pick it up though. Yeah, and there are no slashing events because right now I honestly feel like they've tried to, at least for the most part, learn lessons from the past and learn from all of the Luna and all of these other Titan and all of these other DeFi apps depegging and losing this peg and crashing. So I think they're trying to take more of a careful approach. Instead of offering crazy APYs, and then when the bear market comes around, like it eventually will, they're trying to kind of avoid that whole crash situation that kind of puts an end to the whole space, right? Because there's so much liquidity locked up on Eigen Layer right now that if something were to happen, it would be devastating for ETH. And honestly, it'd be devastating for the bull run, at least for the first half of it, right? So I do appreciate the approach that they're taking. I'm bullish about being able to receive some of the airdrops, and it was an interesting event yesterday trying to figure out who I wanted to delegate my my stake to, because there are so many people now spinning up platforms to act as operators or custodians over the yield and everything. So it's gonna be an interesting ride. And I think it'll be one of the bigger narratives. And also, I don't know if I want to drop that alpha on y'all.
Oh, here he
Always
goes.
questioning whether
Here he
to
goes
do it.
again.
Now, I just thought about it. But there is some restaking coming to another platform.
EtherFi?
Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin is supposedly having some restaking as well. I heard. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. It is that would be Merlin,
Yeah,
right?
but that's not the platform that I'm talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Eventually there will be some officially, unofficially, there will be restaking coming to Solana. I won't tell you what project is doing it, but there's some restaking coming. And that is going to be crazy because it's already a crazy amount of volume, crazy amount of transactions going on over there right now. So there's restaking coming.
All right, Cats Fanatic saying Mintify base keys sold out during pre-sale, less than 20 minutes. Evan Var announced airdrop in 15 minutes, and keys will be tradable within 30. Total supply after airdrop 12K.
My lord.
So one of the things this Eigen layer in the restaking narrative, and this goes to Q, what you've always been saying is like, this just sounds like, it's tokenomics on top of tokenomics and points on top of points. The concern, and I don't know if you've been seeing it in the ETH community, is that the concern is that there's too much stake, right? There's too many people staking, and that the stake percentage might go up too high. And they're talking about like adjusting the economics and the, of Ethereum, right, on the next hard fork. And people are like, well, like there's a lot of back and forth. Like, do we want to even touch it, or should we even touch it? Should we let it play out for for a year or two and see what happens? But we don't want to put anything in danger. So it's one of those things.
Well, I think is a lot of it is because people don't really understand what restaking is or the purpose of it. The purpose is the theory behind it is to help provide liquidity to some of these smaller guys.
And security.
They want to help secure the network.
Yeah.
So in theory, it should be this is a good thing because it helps secure the network a lot better. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But truthfully, there is a purpose to restaking. It's just a matter of what happens when the space starts to go down a little bit, as with every other DeFi protocol, right? So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, this isn't restaking isn't a DeFi protocol. Well, staking isn't a DeFi protocol. It's built into the network, right? The fear is that what if we go to 100% of staking? And then what if Coinbase has 50% of that? Or like there's a lot of those questions. But like I still think the strongest play is that you're going to see a lot, just like Blast. I think Blast is really smart because they're playing the restaking narrative. I think any platform, Uniswap is going to play with Eigen Layer, right? Curve is playing with Eigen Layer, right? There needs to, like, you can't ignore, whether you like it or not, you can't ignore it anymore. And now I think every platform is going to have to play in that market because it's better for them, right? They actually can earn some on the platform side, and they can, their users can earn something. I think it's a narrative that's going to play out over this summer.
Quantum, I got a quick question, and I have a statement and a quick question for you since you brought up that point about Coinbase having 50% of the restaking tokens, right? So the way that I've been seeing other chains do it, like with when you stake your Celestia and all of these other places, right, on Cosmos, the thing is, if you stake to like one of these more centralized platforms, you aren't eligible for the airdrops that are potentially coming, right? So me personally, I took that into account yesterday when I was looking at the restaking with Eigen Layer. Like I saw, Coinbase and some of these more reputable companies offering staking, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that because I understand that will take me out of the game to receive all of the other airdrops and all the other rewards that I might be eligible for. So a lot of these chains, I think the way that they're kind of like avoiding or trying to avoid that whole debacle is to kind of like play to our DGN nature and say, listen, if you stay with some of the smaller guys, you're open to the airdrop. So with that being said, my question is, did you did you stake to? And you don't have to tell me exactly who you stake to, but did you stake with one of the more secure, one of the bigger, more well known entities, or did you stake with something that's kind of like medium in the middle, like?
So I staked a while ago a bunch of my stuff with Rocket Pool, because it was back in the day, it was only Rocket Pool and Lido and like maybe one other. And so I had ETH sitting there and I wanted to play, and I staked with Rocket Pool, did a lot of research on Rocket Pool. And then I did another round with Swell, which is it's smaller, but not necessarily smaller in market cap, but smaller in team. Right, way more aggressive. And now I'm looking into EtherFi and a couple of the other ones of going through that realm. I do think it's worth spreading it out. Coinbase, it's a given. Like Coinbase, Binance, why would you hold all that ETH and not have it staked to earn? Even if they don't give back the yield, they should be earning 4%. You put up $1 million or $10 million, and you know go 4%.
Damn it, Quantum!
You did it again. You cut him off.
Well, I'm just not used to this.
Restream has it. I think it has to do with power. I think it has to do with the power that it requires to make these real-time switches. Because I think that's the issue why it fucks up my audio sometimes, because I'm using phantom power.
Yeah.
To run the mic and all that shit.
I've got the latest Eigen post there, but Quantum's back. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a given. It's a given variant, like you said.
Yeah, I don't remember where I was talking. So
no, you were saying that if you stake 4%, like you had $10 million, which makes a lot of sense, and you at least getting 4% yield off of your 10 million, then it makes sense to stake with some of these bigger players.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's exactly the thesis that Pac-Man laid out for Blast. Right? He's like, I'm sitting on all this ETH with Blur. Right, I'm sitting on all this ETH, and now all of a sudden he's like, "Why are we not earning it and then distributing it back to the people?" And so why can't we just bring that value? And I think Coinbase is going to do that. I think all of them will. The question, and I think we should be part of that. The nice part about Rocket Pool is that it just accumulates. Right, you don't have to go and claim it. It just adds to the token. So like Rocket Pool is like $400 higher than ETH. Right, even though it's still ETH, but the rewards just keep accumulating. It feels like it was an obvious play, so I played it.
So, any last kind of information regarding Eigen Layer? If somebody wants to get involved now, it's tough. Like again, there's windows of staking and all these things. So, how somebody, I guess, that maybe is more experienced and has been. Hold, Biggie, give me 1 second, man.
Scared me. Man.
So I got the new or more experienced folks, and then the more experienced folks, if we can get that information then before we close out the episode.
Yeah, the native restaking with Eigen is I think closed for now. They open it up, and they'll talk about it, and announce when they'll open it up, where you can stake your ETH, or you can go to Rocket Pool and stake your Rocket Pool ETH. I believe that there are other ways. I think EtherFi and certain of these other ones, you can kind of get around it, where you can stake your ETH with EtherFi, and then you get Eigen. It automatically gets staked to Eigen. I would look into that. The other plays are there's not a lot of players. If you are staked with Eigen, where you're going to delegate that. And so there's not a lot of players out there who are big right now who you can delegate to, and I think that's the meta, is like watching to see where the number of stakers are going to be, where how much money is locked in each one of these platforms, and to see which one provides. I don't know if any rewards are being distributed yet.
Oh my god, oh my goodness. All right, I'm trying to provide some context. So basically what you're saying here is that if you find someone who's just spun it up, you potentially have more rewards because there's less people that need to be paid out. I don't know if I'm. Go ahead.
Yeah, something to that effect, because you do get more reward for taking the chance, right? With some of these smaller delegators, and so as far as getting in. I'm not sure, honestly, because I guess once I got in, I was just like, fuck it, I'm in. And exclusivity, like I was saying earlier, That's the point of being exclusive. Nah, I'm trolling. Y'all didn't even laugh at my joke. Anyways, but back to what I was saying.
Our ethos,
you know?
yeah, our ethos here is clearly fuck everybody. Don't ask us any questions. Good luck to you. We'll sit here and talk about all of our wins and not share any of it. That's what we're doing here. Welcome.
All right, any last takes here on Eigen Layer before we close out the show?
I'm really bullish on it. Too bullish to the point that I feel like there's something to be cautious about at some point. You know, it reminds me a little bit of like how certain and sure so many people were at some point about Luna. Remember? Everybody like in the last cycle was like, I'm going to take all my gains and then I'm going to put them in Luna and get like 20% on top. Right. And like, I'm honestly, like you saw VCs and like super crazy investors, like nothing can go wrong. This shit's bulletproof. Let me run you through the math.
And I thought Athena was the new winner.
Thing happened and it just sent the house of Jenga crumbling down. And so when I see this, and I see it, and like I think I was saying in the Discord, it's very elegant. It's like it really feels like that Quant to me, right? It's like go to sleep.
Quant's pissed.
Go to sleep, money. yeah. He's like about to get the sledgehammer and just hit me. But oh, there he goes.
I will say the algo back stablecoin stuff is way more degen than like the staking piece.
For sure, different. Yeah. But
is that dust?
I saw that picture. I saw that picture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kane Mayfield record, right? Damn, that's beautiful.
Had to show it off.
I spent a good 6 hours with Kane on Sunday or Saturday. So it was a lot of fun and we had a lot of good, funny conversations. But yeah, having that album is pretty epic in my collection. So
Quantum, I appreciate you joining us today. It was epic having you on, sir. Hop back anytime. We will continue to cover Eigen Layer again as we kind of head into summer and we see where all that goes. Wishing all of you guys the best that participated here. That's pretty much it for me today. I know. So we had 2 last updates I saw across my timeline here that I wanted to get to y'all. It looks like there's a snapshot potentially for the Fallen on Oni Force. So we know the runes meta is kicking off, and that's kind of the last thing I'll show here as well.
There's some whitelist to join in their Discord that I need to go do, apparently. So yeah, you might want to check the Oni Discord today.
Also, when runes launch, there will be 10,000. This comes from Trevor BTC. When runes launch, there will be 10,000 tokens you can mint for free. It will be an all-you-can-eat shitcoin buffet on Bitcoin. People who run nodes in Ord won't have to rely on third parties. The highest chance of success. Odds you ever get this chance again are close to 0.
Can we talk about
this goes into Biggie's point of like 1% will win.
Yeah.
Can we talk about something real quick? Like when we talk about minting for free, yes, there's no cost associated with the actual item, but man,
sounds better.
This shit is no different than minting on ETH. That fucking listen, those fees are high as shit. like I'm just saying. Listen, you easily paying in over to $60 to mint something.
It's all right. Let them have their moment. It's Bitcoin's moment. It's Solana's moment. It's Base's moment. Just remember, sometimes, you know, we all want to be the star of our own movie, and that's great. You don't want to be an NPC. You are the star of your own movie. But every once in a while, you have to remember when you're in somebody else's movie. And just like, you know, take a step back, let them live in their moment. It's Bitcoin's moment. Just accept what it is, you know, and that's fine. Ethereum is going to have its moments.
Clip that shit now.
And that's either going to be the most epic clip ever, or we're going to play that at your funeral. All right, let's go around the Penta box here as we say goodbye to everyone that stopped by. Appreciate you guys for joining. Inverse, BTC Boss, Gimme the Loot, Cats Fanatic, Nick Swervis, Sarah Script. Let's see who else. Marty McFly was even stopping by. Justin Casey,
just
Jeff
to FUD me real quick.
And bounce out. Yeah, love it. All right, let's go around. Quantum, go ahead.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I've been dying to talk about it, and I think Biggie and I can have like a 2-hour conversation about this whole space. But it's funny because even in this space I feel conservative, but I don't know if it's a conservative play. I just think it's the smart play. So, but that's usually the way I roll. That's cool. OVOT, I guess.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
My God, man! Shout out to Quantum Variant, aka QV, for people that have trouble saying Quantum Variant. Much needed information. Great space today. Love the background again. Thank you all for joining us. I'll try to look into some ways that some of you guys can get in the Eigen Layer and be able to present them. I won't promise tomorrow, but maybe sometime next week. And stay safe.
DJing Eigen, right?
Listen, look, DJing responsibly, like I'm doing. I am playing the shitcoin lottery, but I'm not doing it with no more than maybe like 2 to 5 sold. Like I'm not out here, throwing 50 sold clips and shit. But anyways, besides that, continue to join us, support the morning shows, support the morning spaces that Q and my guy Give puts on. Shout out to Q for making it back safely. Happy to have you back, my brother. And until tomorrow, OVOT.
Biggie Poppins, go ahead.
Dude, what a awesome show today, man. Thank you, Quantum Eigen Variant. Yeah, Quantum Eigen Variant. And you too, DP, man. It just makes it extra special. And obviously we have our homie back, GIF, and my trusty companion Q. I don't know, and everybody on chat. It's awesome. I really enjoy the moments I get to share with y'all and get down to all these crazy things that I don't know, still so few people know about, right? Even within crypto. I love having people that talk about this and that are into it like I am. Don't feel like such a weirdo. Thank you.
You guys need to tune in to Say What. Biggie has an amazing playlist. I actually got to get that song that you played today, but he starts the show every single day with a new tune, and it's oftentimes a whole different genre than he played the day before. But all right, Gifted, send us out, sir. Welcome back. The floor is yours.
Yeah, Biggie he's a cultured man, eclectic taste. He knows good music and good food. But yes, it's great to be back. And you take a week off, it feels like you missed an entire generation worth of information. Yeah. So it's great to have a crew like this that I get to hop back in and feel like I'm getting back up to speed. We'll be back with GM Web 3 next week, but just grateful to be back. I think Canada's underrated and appreciate y'all. OVOT.
Yeah, I got to make my call with Gary Gensler to discuss price suppression.